anything and any place where a brand is visible, and we help the brand get there, that is PR. The comfort of that job just sucks you in, and then you're so happy that in the end of the month ki salary mil rahi hai and don't have to worry about anything else.
Right.
But then after a decade, that kida kicked in, and I knew that at some point I would want to do it, and I took the plunge. My CA was like, yaar ma'am, only Papa Achar businesses and our proprietorship, please yaar, ab kar lo abhi private limited. That what sales teaches you, nothing else does. Allowed myself a choice that if it doesn't work out, and I'm allowed to fail, because while me and my husband, I didn't have a child then, it was just the two of us, and food on the table wasn't my responsibility. The business would run me, I wouldn't run the business. So it was like, अच्छा आज का क्या challenge है, आज कहाँ आग लगानी लगी है और आज कहाँ आग बुझाना है. It was like that. Not doing PR costs you more than doing PR. So we don't want to work with people who have a tainted image and who have a dodgy past. So we do a lot of background check before we even meet the client. No amount of PR can fix a weak business model. No.
Okay.
No. Clarity is very, very crucial. Hard work, consistency, backed by a little bit of luck, will sort of get you a long way.
Hi all, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. I'm your host Sudarshan Praveen. Today we have Diana Fernandes as our podcast guest. She's the founder of Bloomingdale PR, which is a company based in Mumbai and Singapore. In this episode, we will deep dive into the PR industry of what works, what doesn't work, what has changed in the last 10 years, and also why every company must invest in PR, because the cost of not investing in PR is much more than the cost of investing in PR, the different types of PR, and much more. Stay tuned and watch the entire episode, as this episode is very, very insightful, and I'm sure all of you all will get a wonderful insight on how the PR game works. Thank you. Hi Diana, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. I'm Sudarshan Praveen, your host for today. For all of our viewers who are meeting you for the first time, can you briefly introduce yourself and walk us through your journey so far?
Sure. Hi Sudarshan. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on your show. Let me just begin with saying that I speak extremely fast. So at any point in time you're finding it difficult to understand, please say that, pause, and I will take that pace.
Absolutely.
So for people who don't know me, my name is Diana Fernandes, and I run this PR company called Bloomingdale Public Relations. We're based in Mumbai and Singapore, so we're co-headquartered in both cities. We started about 12 years back in Mumbai, then moved to Singapore in 2018, and in about 6 years. At this point in time, while we're headquartered in two cities, we largely operate out of like the whole GCC market, the whole APAC market, as well as India. So we cater to three regions from both these large centers. Other than that, we've got our offices in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, in Delhi, which are fairly new centers. At the heart of what we do, we're an all-out PR agency. When you say PR, it's your traditional media, new age media, influencers, and all of that. But in the last 12 years, we've realized that the whole PR landscape has changed. What used to be PR earlier isn't just PR right now, and there's a lot more that incorporates or encapsulates PR. And right from say anything and any place where a brand is visible, and we help the brand get there, that is PR. It could be through an event, it could be through an influencer, it could be through a marketing campaign, it could be through pure play PR, radio, podcasts like yours, and everything in between. So that's who we are, and that's what we do. And it's been 12 beautiful years of just doing that.
How did you get into this field?
So I worked with a PR agency for about 10 years before starting Bloomingdale, and
Okay.
I started my career in 2003, just after my MBA. So from 2003 to 2013, I worked with a PR company. Beautiful place. I worked there for, like I said, a decade. Did everything right from business development to client servicing to media relations to everything like that you can think of. 10 years there, never thought I would leave, but my mom's an entrepreneur, and she's a very early entrepreneur. Like, I'm turning 44 now, and she must be an entrepreneur for good 42 years.
Oh, wow.
So she was an entrepreneur when entrepreneurship as a thing wasn't, as a path wasn't common. Women in entrepreneurship was further not common. So she started her journey back then. So I have grown up seeing that. I very clearly remember instances where, when when somebody would bump into her, and then they would be like, okay, Grace, so what do you do now? And then she would not say I'm an entrepreneur openly. She'd be like, yeah, I do something in corporate gifting, and just ghuma ke say that, okay, I'm doing something. But never that pride that I'm an entrepreneur and this is something that I'm doing, because women back then didn't know better, it wasn't, like I said, a thing to do. So I've seen that transition, and I've seen that how from not being able to tell people what she does to proudly wearing that hat over, like I said, 40 years, to doing it even now. She's a cancer survivor. She got breast cancer some 12 years back. Even through that, she works now. You see her, you can't even tell, like she is like a fighter, and she's
Wow.
amazing, and she's been at her corporate gifting business for like 40 plus years, like I said. So I've seen entrepreneurship very, very closely through my mother's lens.
Okay.
And I always thought that at some point in time, maybe I will don that hat and maybe I will do it. But the comfort of that job just sucks you in, and then you're so happy that in the end of the month, ki salary mil rahi hai and don't have to
Correct.
worry about anything else.
Right.
But then after a decade, that kida kicked in, and I knew that at some point I would want to do it, and I, took the plunge. Started really, really small, and then of course grew from there. So that it's all basically, like I said, seeing my mother doing what she was doing and being inspired by her, and being able to see her, do things her way, work in the pace that she wants to, like that freedom of doing stuff her way. I think that is
Right.
something that I really admired and saw, and plus the hard work, resilience, and all that definitely comes in. It's not a cakewalk, but yeah, that's how I sort of entered into this entrepreneurship journey.
And do you do this alone, or do you?
Yes, I am. So I started, like I said, in 2013 as a sole proprietor. It was a proprietorship firm back then, because it was like the beginning, and I didn't want to do an LLP or a private limited because I wasn't sure how far I will go or how long I want to take this. So started as a proprietorship by myself in 2013. Continued doing that for the longest time. It's only Singapore obviously can't do proprietorship, so there I started as a private limited company, and I had to take a local director there. So Singapore, I have a local director who's a Singaporean citizen who's a director as well, but the company is entirely owned by me. We then moved to becoming private limited here in India as well, because after a point my CA was like, "Yaar, ma'am, only papa char businesses and a proprietorship. Please, yaar, ab kar lo abhi private limited LLP." And also I felt we've reached a stage where we want to sort of take that next big leap and do like a lot more. So then moved to becoming private limited in 2024.
Wow.
So now we're a private limited company here in India, a private limited in Singapore as well. And the end goal is of course to merge both companies, and to have the Singapore company as a holding company and India as a subsidiary office. So we will be by say 2027 or 2028 entirely Singaporean company with India as a subsidiary office. And while I run it entirely, in 2024, we brought on a CEO to run the business. His name is Vikram Kharvi, and he comes with 27 years of work experience across large agencies, having been there, done that at very, very senior leadership positions. And after we completed 10, which was somewhere in 2023, I felt I hit a roadblock that, okay, I've reached here. Now what next? And how far can I go? And what can I do? And then I realized that, while I've reached here, my skill sets got me here, but hota na, what got you here won't get you there, and what got you here by yourself may not necessarily get you there by yourself alone. You need
People.
to pull in the right kind of people, and
Right.
people who will run it with you. And that's when I obviously knew of Vikram for the longest time, because he's been somebody who I really loved and admired as a professional, and I have followed his journey very, very closely. Never imagined that he would work with me, but slowly, slowly kept speaking to him, kept the conversation going. When I knew that he wanted to sort of move out, I popped the question that like, what do you think of sort of joining us? And then again, obviously with several meetings and back and forth, and then had to align my purpose and our vision with his, because he obviously had huge stakes involved, right? Like he left a very, very comfortable, very, very high paying job, a very good position to come to join someone who was so boutique, so small, not known by too many brands and people. So he took that risk. He followed his gut, followed his conviction. I followed my gut, I followed my conviction, because for me also it was difficult to then bring on a leader to run it with me, because 10 साल से मैं खुद चला रही थी. उसके पहले 10 years of my job, where last 5 years I was pretty much running the show over there as well. So after 15 years of working independently, then bringing somebody else on and like working with that person was equally challenging for me. So we went through a little bit of transitioning, of understanding each other, and then when we were both comfortable, we announced him as CEO. So now he runs the place with me.
Wow.
In fact, like the whole Bloomingdale 2.0, with all our processes and documentation and KPIs and better people and better clients, the entire thing is done by him. So I'm incredibly lucky to have him with me run it now.
So you mentioned when you started like every other business starts small, right? So how did you scale up with time? How did you get your first few clients? And you also are in Singapore now. So how did all those things happen?
Right. So when I started Bloomingdale, as I mentioned, that 10 years of just doing PR, connected with a whole lot of clients, whole lot of people, and I used to do business development. And I strongly feel that what sales teaches you, nothing else does. So I would make like 50, 100 calls a day at the start of my career as a 21-year-old back then, go meet so many clients, meet so many people. And so my foundation was very, 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 very strong. So one thing I knew कि मैं कुछ भी बेच सकती हूँ, like I can sell anything. So selling our services for me was हो जाएगा. So spoke to a few clients when I started out, and then they were like, obviously, like I said, they knew me for the longest time, and they were like, we don't really care whether you're sitting in a blue glass building in Bandra or you're sitting in your house and working,
Right.
as long as our work gets done. So if you have the the conviction that you can do it, we're happy to support you. And I said that, yeah, give it a shot, give me a chance, and we'll see how it goes from there. So onboarded first 3 to 4 clients, onboarded first 3 to 4 people. For them also, it was leaving their jobs wherever they were and coming and joining a startup which is working from home. Work from home is fancy now. Work
Yeah,
from home
not
wasn't
then.
fancy 12 years back. It
Yeah.
was like yaar ghar se, and I was in 7 bungalows, really, really tiny house. My living room had like these workstations that I went and bought. And my husband would leave for work at 7 a.m. So he would be like, once I go, jo karna hai karo. So then I had like workstations. I put like chairs there. Like these girls would come in the morning. We would sit there and work, and whole day, like morning till late evening. 3, 4 clients, like I said, who trusted me initially, they worked with me. And I was just very, very focused on keep ek saal, just these 4 clients and my 4 people, and we will just focus on that. And then we'll see. Scaling up was not even like a question. I never had a business plan, never really had a set plan as to how I want to grow, no projections, nothing. It was, like I said, more a gut feeling ki I want to do this. Let's see how it goes, and then take it up from there. So I had given myself that 1 year.
Okay.
And I had also allowed myself a choice that if it doesn't work out, and I'm allowed to fail, because while me and my husband, I didn't have a child then, it was just the 2 of us, and food on the table wasn't my responsibility. Like, so he was
Okay.
taking care of a whole lot of things. So I knew that I had the luxury to fail should this venture not work out. So I thought, ki chalo, let's start and see. I remember this funny instance where one of this girl would join me, and she told her mother that I'm joining this startup and it's an office and we're going there. And मेरे घर पे because घर से काम करते थे, मैं cook would come 6 बजे शाम को, as usual she would come, and this girl was talking to her mother, and मेरे kitchen से वो खाना बनाती हुई कुकर की सीटी बजी, and that mother was asking कि तू कहाँ काम कर रही है, कुकर की सीटी क्यों बज रही है, and where are you working? So we've gone through all of that funny stories of clients coming home and having discussions, and like we cooking something and eating, and just like this whole मेरे घर में तभी living room में AC भी नहीं था. My AC was only in the bedroom because like it's a छोटा सा house था, just me and my husband. So bedroom में AC था, and then we started in September. October was so hot, so we would like shut everything, keep that अंदर का AC on fast, and then sit. So it was like damn hilarious how the way that 1 year went. But again, all we did was some phenomenal work for our clients. All we did was had that faith in us that come what may, we will just like pull through this and see how it goes. Then when I completed a year, I thought, chalo, I'll scale up. And that's exactly when I got pregnant. So I discovered I was pregnant in October of 2014, exactly a year of starting Bloomingdale. So I said, fine, pause again in terms of let's just go slow for maybe another year or 2 while I simultaneously raise the baby and raise the business. So then obviously, but then ghar chota tha because then there was a baby and a nanny and a lot of chaos. So my sister bought a house just downstairs in the same building. So I rented that house from her, and then
Okay.
so that office was niche, ghar was upar, same setup, niche workstation dale, and I was upar niche. So I don't remember any maternity leave. I don't remember any break. I don't remember anything because it was just like all simultaneous. I remember speaking to my clients the day I was delivering in the morning. I'm like, listen, I'm going inside, but things are going fine, so don't worry. So it was like because it wasn't work. So even till today, like people keep saying that work-life balance. I don't know what that is, because for me, I'm having fun what I'm doing. Like this for me is great fun. I'm not looking at it. Oh my god, podcast karna hai, kaam hai, whatever. It's just like having a great time chatting with someone amazing. So like that, it was more about. Didn't feel work. So then it was very, very natural. My baby grew, as the business was growing. So it's only when he turned about 1.5 or 2 is when we moved out from our comfortable home, went to a commercial space, took the first office on rent, added 2 more people, 2 more clients, and slowly, steadily moved up from there. In 2018, Singapore always had my heart ever since I went there. I don't remember. I think I went there first in 2010 or 11, and I like my left a piece of my heart in Singapore, and I always knew that at some point I want to do something in that city. So I would keep going back and forth for some either like some trip or some work, and I always felt the pulse of doing business there, and the whole ease of operating there, the whole window to the APAC that Singapore brings in, because it's like a melting pot for comms professionals across Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. So all their professionals sit in Singapore. So it becomes a great place to operate at a global level. So again, no business plan, no groundwork, just the gut that I want to do this. And I started my company there. I spoke to this guy, who came through a reference, who was looking to incorporation of companies in Singapore, and so you have to have, like I said, a local director based there. So he was like, so I said, how long will this whole process take? And he said that it's like 10 a.m. now. Before 10 p.m. before you go to bed, your company will be registered. And I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, like it will. And rightly so, by 10 p.m. we were registered there. So we were a PTE limited company, like how it is in Singapore, and then work started there. Yeah? So it was slow and steady initially. I would keep going back and forth because, with my son, travel, the nanny and all of that was a little bit of chaos, but I still thought I'll try and see how far I can go with it. Went back and forth, slowly, steadily built that as well. Now we have a steady workflow from there, which sort of deals with the whole APAC market. We've got India and Singapore that supports both regions, and I think it's been pretty good so far.
And I'm sure you would have faced a lot of challenges during this journey, right? Would you like to share some of those challenges? Because when our viewers look at it, I want them to have a realistic picture, because scaling and from your small bedroom to all the way till Singapore is not an easy task. So can you share some of your challenges?
Sure, I'll tell you what. So, in fact, people keep saying, right, if that we want to be entrepreneurship, and some people are like, go for it, kar lo and kood pado and all of that. But I, for once, I'm very, very cautious. I don't instinctively say ki do it, because it's not easy. Like you feel it's flowery, ki tum apni man marzi se kuch kar sakte ho, you can manage your day, you can do whatever you want, but it is very, 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 very tough. I'm not discouraging anybody. All I'm trying to say is that there is no one size fits all formula. It's different for everyone. It depends on what stage of life are you in, how old are you, is food on the table your responsibility, do you have a safety net of say 6 months, because in case your business doesn't say take off for the next 6 months, which a lot of times it doesn't, jitna you say ki pay yourself first, blah blah, you cannot pay yourself first. You in fact pay yourself last. And sometimes you don't pay yourself at all. For the longest time, I don't think I paid myself. Even now, sometimes I'm like, yaar, other expenses take precedence over paying yourself.
Right.
So it is not easy. So if you're prepared to do that, go for it. Like I said, I'm not discouraging, but just know your pros and cons. Pros and cons of being in the existing job, pros and cons of being in a new job that you probably could take, and pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. And whatever is higher, go for that. And despite that, if you still feel ki yaar nahi mere ko khud padna hai and I want to follow my gut, do it. Like how I did. I didn't know, right? So I just did it. And sometimes it works magically. So there will be challenges, like I said, working capital, money, talent, especially in an industry like ours, right? We're not selling kursi table, we're selling human intellect. People come with their own tantrums. The newer generation comes with their own way of thinking and the way of doing work. So dealing with people is the toughest. And jitna bhi tum bolo AI hai, ye hai, wo hai, in the end you need human buddhi to work with, even if it's AI. So you need to really work with people, and working with people is challenging, is very, very challenging. So it has its ups and downs. So you have to be like really thick-skinned, have like proper SOPs and things in place to be able to really like scale up and do well. And a lot of times, where I feel I went wrong was in so when I started, I just started, right? There was no business plan, no process, nothing. So if the day would be run, like the business would run me, I would run the business. So it was like, अच्छा आज का क्या challenge है, आज कहाँ आग लगानी लगी है, और आज कहाँ आग बुझाना है. It was like that, It was more like firefighting. And today का what's the challenge? So like I said, the business would run me, I wouldn't run the business. But now, because we've put in processes in place, we put in documentation in place, we are a lot more stronger, bigger, better. Now we run the business, so we run it our way. So it takes time. It's taken me good 12 years. So I think patience is also the key. If you have patience, backed by your conviction, I think you'll make for a good story like this.
Hopefully, yeah. So what exactly is PR? Like, if you can explain that in simple words, and when should founders and company owners think of investing in PR?
I keep telling a lot of these newer founders and these and clients who call us, जिन्होंने कभी PR किया नहीं है, and I keep telling them that not doing PR costs you more than doing PR. In all honesty, when you put in some money to be out there, put yourself out there, promote your brand, your leadership team, you gain a lot more than what you would probably do saving that money. There is absolutely no right time or wrong time to start PR. When you're clear with your business objective, when you're clear with what is it that you want to do and achieve from a business standpoint, and when you know what success means to you and what is it that you want to achieve, you should start with PR, because clarity is very, very important. And today, like I told you in the beginning also, the definition of PR has changed. It is not just articles in newspapers and magazines and TV and radio. No, today everything that a brand does and how it communicates to your audience is PR. Everything that an individual does, he could be a founder, a CEO, a CMO, a CXO, whatever that person does is out there, it's PR. So the choice honestly is yours. Either you let your actions, that is your social media posts, your ads, your website, let that build perception, or you take charge, you take control, and you let people, the audiences, your stakeholders, your employees, your end consumers see you the way you want them to see you. And that's where a PR agency plays a role, because we help brands build narrative. We help brands build a communication strategy. People don't come to us for coverages anymore. वो दिन गए कि हमको coverages चाहिए. People come to a PR agency like us for something called strategic counsel. That हमें करना क्या चाहिए to put ourselves out there. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? What should we say? What should we not say? In fact, a whole lot of our time goes behind telling CEOs कि क्या नहीं बोलना है. What is it that you need to sort of guard yourself from, and what is it that you need to sort of portray. So I think PR right now has become very, very strategic. B2B, B2C, end consumers, whatever your business may be, there is always some amount of communication that you need to send out. It could be, like I said, to your internal employees, it could be to stakeholders, it could be to your customers, it could be to your investors, your partners, industry peers. All of that is what you do is PR. And that's what we help clients with.
So for all our viewers to understand through an example, can you share an example of how you work with a client, and can you walk us through the process of when they come to you, what requirement they come to you for, and when you mentioned earlier that the CEO shouldn't say all this.
Okay.
So just an example for our viewers to understand.
Okay, so say I'll give you like an example of a global VC. There's this global VC who was based in Singapore. So we started working with them in Singapore.
VC as in venture capital.
Venture capitalist firm, okay? A global VC firm. So they wanted to come down to India.
Okay.
And so we did this whole first announcement in terms of, okay, XYZ VC is now venturing in the Indian market, and they have this X amount fund size that they're going to be investing in the Indian market, and this is the kind of startups that they're going to sort of invest in, say deep tech or AI or whatever, all of that. So the first is that you announce the fact that they're coming. Then when you announce that, the next was, okay, so now that the fact that the VC is here in India, who are the partners running it? So then it was the announcement about who are the people running it, what's their pedigree, where do they come from, what's their journey like. So getting interactions done with them, and then sort of getting a lot of relationship building meetings done with the partners, getting them to talk about what their journey has been and what is it that they are now looking forward to do in the Indian market. So that was like a 1 year long journey that we did. Post that, they started investing in startups. So then we would start doing announcement of their portfolio companies that, ABC VC has invested in this company with this ticket size and blah, 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 and the founders quote and all of that. Then getting those founders interviewed about their partnership with the global VC. So things like that, we sort of break it down into what the end objectives are. So this VC wanted to, of course, reach out to media at large so that they're able to reach out to a large number of founders pan India, plus also reach out to family offices and other investors who would then pool in money. So things like that. So depending on what the client wants, we devise our strategy. Even in this case, there is absolutely no one size fits all. There is even, say maybe another VC, the strategy won't be same. So we work around the client's objectives. And there's one question I always ask clients, that what does success mean to you in PR? That you're meeting me right now, what do you have in mind? Like, what is it? If the client tells me that, okay, I am say a company selling protein bars and I want to make more sales, मुझे बस मेरे प्रोडक्ट बेचने हैं, I'll tell them रुक जाओ, don't do PR, go rather do performance marketing or do whatever, So we are not in the business of helping you sell. You will eventually sell, because what we do for you will help build narrative, build credibility, and make sure that who you are and what you do, the pulse of your company and your brand and your product is communicated, which pulls people to ultimately make the sale or consider your product. But we're not going to be helping you sell products, So once you understand what success means to that particular client, you can then maneuver and tell the client that, hey, this is what you want, this is best suited for you. But when we do PR, here's what it will do for you. It will build credibility in you as a founder. That, okay, you come from certain health related background where you've worked with, say, 10 other health related brands, and hence you're learning, you have incorporated and you started this brand, Second is the fact that your channels are like, say, you're available on quick commerce, you're available on you're available online, you're available in supermarkets. So where are your point of sales? Then you work with health related or fitness influencers where you get them to try your products and all of that. Then you work with lifestyle influencers. So we, like I said, help them navigate the fact that what they want to achieve with different strategies. So हमारा हर एक client के लिए, it's like I said, no two clients are alike, no two clients in the same industry will also be alike. It will always be different, because what success means to you at your stage will be different from what success means to somebody else at a very similar business product line. So we try and, as much as possible, align our goals and our strategy to the client's vision of what he or she wants to achieve, and then it's a perfect match. Another thing is that patience in PR, it's all a game of patience. Magic doesn't happen in a month, 2 months, 3 months. Kabhi nahi hota. It'll take a couple of months. It'll take several years at times. When it's a crisis, I'm not saying it'll take several years to resolve. So when there's a situation that there's a crisis and something needs to be targeted and done quickly, we are pretty quick at that, and we will end up resolving it faster. If there's a client who wants to do an announcement and a press conference, it's faster. So you do the press conference, you see the coverage within the next few days. So there are cases where turnaround is faster, but when we're looking at a long-term credibility building work for a retainer client, it's always a journey that you take with clients. So clients have been with me for like 12, 15 years at a stretch. Yeah. So many of my clients, like, say, Mad Over Donuts, they've been with us for like 15 years. We started when they were one store in Noida, and they're like at some 100 odd stores right now. And another client called Kaspersky started with us like way back, and they've been with us for about 15, 16 years now. So clients don't necessarily leave us. They see the whole beauty in maintaining the relationship and being with that same agency long enough so that the whole communication is controlled. Journalists know who to get in touch with. Our teams are pretty much the same. People don't leave us. I've got people who've been working with me since forever.
Wow.
So the same people are managing it. All what we do is we meet very often, we re-strategize, we go back to the drawing board, because what was relevant back then isn't relevant right now. So we keep making those pivots and changes very, very often. But long-standing relationships with clients is what has helped us thrive and grow, in all honesty.
And how do clients measure the ROI when they come to you for PR?
So this is a very tricky question, because everybody, most newer clients जिन्होंने कभी PR try किया नहीं है, they're like, अच्छा हमें in the end क्या मिलेगा? हम वैसे client से पहले दूर रहते हैं, उनको बोलते हैं that listen, तुम्हें in the end of the month there's always a set of deliverables that we have, that okay, per quarter we'll give you X number of coverages and X number of mentions and all of that. But what we do for a brand is we control, like I said, A, the narrative, B, the share of voice. we ensure that we do like a share of voice mapping, that okay, this is the kind of audience who knew you earlier, and now post say 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, this is how your this has grown. You used to get X mentions in the media earlier, and now you're getting X plus plus, so we do all of that. We try and tell them that, measure us in terms of credibility, in terms of value that we bring to the table, in terms of share of voice, in terms of the number of people who sort of reach out to you after seeing your coverages. The intangible beauty of PR is a lot more than the tangible results, and that is what I think we work with our clients on. Sometimes it is difficult to make them understand what we do, but then, like I said, it's a journey. So in the next few months to a year, they understand what value we're bringing in, and then they stick on.
And how do you approach pricing?
Again, a very tricky question. So pricing honestly varies. The large agencies will obviously charge an X amount and whatever they have set deliverables. We're somewhere in between. We're not small, we're not big, we're not even boutique. We're like somewhere in between. So our retainers started about 3 lakh a month, going upward, and that's the kind of money that clients pay us. We go lower or higher depending on scope of work, but we try and work with clients on a retainer model, because that is something that we feel will have benefit in the long run, because it's more like a long-term strategy. We handhold and work with the client on various aspects throughout the year, or 2 or 3 or 4, always more than that. Versus projects we do in terms of, say, agar koi launch hai, like say Robin Sharma, the author, is a client, Jeko is a client, where we manage author Robin Sharma's book launch. So that's a project. We take it for say 2 months, बहुत ढिंडोरा पीटते हैं, go all out, influencers, media, blah blah, do interviews with Robin when he's here, and the project ends. But for everything else, it is largely a long-term strategy, and that's how we work with our clients.
Just to understand this more clearly, for example, if the client is paying you 3 lakh rupees, you have to further pay the influencers, the media and all, right? So do clients bear that as well? Or
So the PR game is, I'll go back to the book where I'll tell you how PR functions. There are 4 ways of looking at it, okay? One is paid media. Now, we never pay journalists. We don't pay journalists. Paid media means if we use news wires, or if we do paid partnership with publications for paid coverages, like say online, offline, whatever, that is one aspect of PR. That is paid. Second is earned. The whole public relations industry thrives on earned media, meaning my relationship with the journalist helps me sell the story. That is earned media. So I take money from the client as a retainer fee for my intellect, my strategic counsel, my relationship, but I don't pay the journalist. It's my relationship with the journalist, where I'll say that, okay, hey, this is a client, he's doing something very, very interesting in this space. I think you should meet with him and see if you think there's a story. Then he will meet with the client. Agar story hai, then the story comes out, and it's, like I said, it's relationship driven. Or I will tell the influencer that, hey, listen, there's this great product that's come in the market. Why don't you try it? And if you like it, you see how it goes, and then give it a shot. Then he or she will try it. That is with barter influencers. Well, give products. Paid influencers ka wo alag hai.
Okay.
So there's paid media, earned media, which is the backbone of our industry. Third is shared. Shared is where influencers come in the picture, wherein I'm working with certain barter influencers and certain paid influencers, for which the client pays over and above the 3 lakh retainer.
Okay.
The retainer fee is just, like I said, for our strategic counsel and for the set of deliverables that we bring to the table. Paid influencers, paid media are not a part of that. They only pay for earned media. Or everything else is additional.
Okay.
So there's paid, I told you, there's owned, shared. Owned, I didn't tell you. So paid,
earned,
shared, earned, and owned. Owned platforms are your own platforms. That is your, your social media platforms, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your X feeds, your YouTube, where a lot of content that we bring out in PR, it'll help you furthermore if you are then able to promote it on your social media platforms. Like say you're covered in Economic Times, you go put that article that I may have read that ET in the morning, or I may not have read it, I may have missed it, but I'm following you on LinkedIn. So you go on LinkedIn and say that thank you Economic Times for featuring my quote in the story, blah blah. It further gets this, you put it up on Instagram with a snapshot, So the beauty of PR is the earned media that you get, how you further amplify it on owned platforms, or you use paid platforms to further run ads on it, or you use influencers to further share it. So it's all entangled into one piece, and that's what makes it a successful campaign. So it's not just, and like I said, we don't pay journalists, we don't pay publications unless and until the client wants specific paid media content out there through news wires or or otherwise. But otherwise, it's all PR thrives on relationships that the PR agency builds over the years, over the last 22 years of mine. The same journalists I'm speaking to who are probably junior writers, they're today editors, senior editors, like they've all become really, really big. So it's a relationship that my team has cultivated over the last so many years, and that relationship is what the client pays for, and that's what, you can't put a price to that. Like, you can't put a price to it. So that's what we charge for.
And for a PR agency, what makes an account profitable for them, and what are the factors which makes it sustainable?
There's a very, so we initially we used to operate on very, very thin margins, because it was more about, you want to do a lot more work so that you're able to showcase that, okay, we're here and we're doing a lot more. So initially I worked on very, very thin margins. Now we're fairly okay. We at any point in time have 3 people working on the account, like an account director, an account manager, and a senior account executive, and maybe more depending on the size of the account and the deliverables and scope of work. That the account director will have, say, an X amount of accounts, the manager will have like a Y amount of accounts. So they are salary. So we map it very clearly, where in every team and every division, the salary costs are 30% or maybe 40% compared to 40% of the entire revenue that particular division brings in. And we try and map that, and we ensure that there is decent margin. In some accounts we do take a hit, but accounts where we feel that passionate about that, हमें ये करना है, and that's something that we really want to do, we sort of bend backwards and maybe charge lesser. But in some accounts where we feel there's a lot of work to be done, and there's just like too many of man hours of me and Vikram and everyone involved, we sort of charge higher. So it depends. So some accounts are very profitable, some are not as much, but
on an average, in percentage terms, what are the margins like?
Again, it all depends on client to client. I can't really put a number to it.
Okay.
It all depends on.
But on a yearly basis, you will be having
say like a 30% kind
30%.
of thing.
Oh wow, that's very healthy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like I said, it's only getting better with time, because now it's like you've got a great team. Now I know that this team size can manage maybe like 20% more business. I don't have to hire more. So we've reached that stage, Then maybe hire, like, say, little bit, like maybe few more people, and maybe scale up more.
Operating leverage kicks in.
So वो अपने आप ठीक हो रहा है. So we are, like I said, because we were self-run, chota company, we took that time, but now we are getting better.
And like you mentioned earlier, you first ask the vision of founders and then you build a narrative around it. Yeah. But what do you do with founders who are themselves not clear about what their vision is?
So what happens with people who are not clear is we try to work with them on that. कभी-कभी होता है कि there is no hope, so we then let go कि भाई नहीं हो रहा है हमसे.
So is there like a period where before accepting them as a client, do you have like a?
Of course. So we're very, very, very selective on who we work with. It's very important for our thoughts to be aligned. It's very, very important for us to see that the client values what we bring to the table, and they are not. And we don't work with people who feel कि हम पैसे दे रहे हैं तो भाई now you do this for us or whatever. No, that whole for me rather, and for Vikram as well, culturally fit people in the team and culturally fit clients are very, very crucial, very, very crucial, and that takes precedence over everything. If a client is toxic or tries to push our people and has unrealistic demands even after we have signed them with aligned scopes, we talk to them and we let go of them. So we are very clear that we work with people who see value in us, and we let go of people who start building toxicity within the team and push our people with unrealistic demands, because we don't like our people to go through hell servicing accounts. We want them to be excited about coming to work. We want them to be excited about what they do and not feel कि यार I have to go and deal with this client. So we are very, very selective about the kind of people that we work with. जहाँ तक सवाल है that do we take accounts where clients don't have clarity, like I said, it depends. There are several meetings that happen before we say yes to a client and before the client says yes request to us. So there's a journey. Sometimes clients who come through reference have known me or have known Vikram or have known the senior members of the team, and then they know. So there's already an alignment. But when newer people reach out to us via, say, our website or social media, whatever, we do a lot of due diligence. We have a lot of checks in place. This is a business of image and credibility. So we don't want to work with people who have a tainted image and who have a dodgy past. So we do a lot of background check before we even meet the client.
Okay.
Especially if the client doesn't come through a reference. So anyone who reaches out to me saying
Okay.
that, we came through your website, I always ask, send me your LinkedIn, send me, company details,
Okay.
send me your deck, and we only meet people where we feel that, okay, this is something that we want to work with, because we otherwise don't. So I'd rather work with fewer clients rather than making like a factory out of this, because clients bahut mil jayenge, like there is no
Acha.
end to clients, like we get calls every day, but we're very, very selective of who we work with. We want our people to also work with great people and great clients. We don't want to kill them working with clients that are, like I said, don't value them or don't know what they want. So it's both ways, and we take very good care of our people, and because of that we ensure that the clients that we take are clients that we are excited about, want to work with, and they, like I said, they value us and our contribution to their business.
This is another, I think, few businesses where quality over quantity is preferred, because usually people prefer more clients.
नहीं, भाई मुझे there are agencies who prefer quantity.
अच्छा.
There are agencies who run like factories, and their only thing is they want dhanda, कि they want
हाँ,
more
हाँ,
numbers.
हाँ.
We don't want that. We want more peace of mind. For me, like I said, being able to sit here and peacefully talk to you is important.
Absolutely.
Rather than checking my phone 25 times कि कोई client तो message नहीं कर रहा है, कोई phone तो नहीं कर रहा है, कुछ होला कहीं आग तो नहीं लगी है.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Nor does Vikram want to do that. So we want to work, like I said, peacefully. We have a fire in our belly. We want to grow, but not at the cost of our sleep, not at the cost of our peace of mind, not at the cost of our people's peace and sleep of mind. We want them to come at 10:30, leave at 6 o'clock. We don't want to
that's
bother
what-
them in the
okay.
evening. We don't want to bother them on weekends. Unless it's an event, nobody works on weekends.
Okay.
We want them to take their vacations. We want them to take their downtime. We want them to take their breaks. We take our breaks, our vacations, our downtime. So none of us kill ourselves to work
Okay.
and to grow. I fully believe that happy people will raise happy organizations.
Absolutely.
And we will grow if our people are happy and if we are happy. Both Vikram and me, you will see us peaceful only. We are never like, oh my God, aaj ye hai, kal wo hai. We are very shant people. We work peacefully. You come down to our office. In fact, I'll invite both of you. You guys must come down to the office, see our culture.
we will.
It's a very happy team. Khate peete rehte hai.
Wow.
Lot of awaaz, noise. And that's how we want it to be. We don't want to like grow and scale up at the cost of our peace of mind, our mental health. Like I want to be able to chill and do nothing. I come home at 4 o'clock every single day, come what may.
Wow.
4 o'clock, yeah, I'm with my son post 4 o'clock, you
Wow.
know. So then, then I take him to his class, or then he plays football, I walk, then we play badminton. So 4 o'clock ke baad, it's like,
No
but
work.
I start really, really early. Like my day starts at 5:30, So then
Oh.
that's how I sort of compensate.
Okay.
Vikram on the other hand works till like say later in the evening, but he starts peacefully. So like I said, hamara that is there. Like I said, peace of mind, great culture over everything else. We are not chasing numbers. We are not chasing growth. We're not chasing profitability. We're not chasing scale. We are chasing happiness, peace of mind, great stories. We want to tell great stories. We want to work with great founders. We want to work with great organizations. We want to work with great companies. And a lot of our clients, be it large clients, small clients, they're all good people to work with. And that's what we want to do. Like that's very, very clear. That doesn't change. Yeah.
Wonderful. So having been in this business for so long, and like you said, PR game has changed quite a lot since the time you started. What's working right now with podcasts, with influencers, with LinkedIn, with personal brands coming more than the company brands? So what's really working right now?
वो कहते हैं ना जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. That's happening right now, where I think just doing great work and not talking about it doesn't work anymore. You've got to put yourself out there. Even if you're a personal brand, you're a large brand, small brand, global brand, 100-year-old brand. We work with a large tech company who's a 100-year-old Japanese brand. Even they need PR. So today, putting yourself out there is very, very crucial, is very, very important. But like I said, it's even in this case, it's quality over quantity. It's not like 4 posts a week on LinkedIn and kuch bhi bakwas karo, no. Or just like press releases just because agency ne bola jana hai. No. We are selective, but we're consistent. It may be one LinkedIn post for a client, it may be one press release a month, it may be one relationship building meeting, maybe one author article, but it will be consistent every month. So consistency is key. Frequency isn't. We're not chasing numbers, we're chasing showing up consistently for clients. Consistent influencer collaborations, consistent authored articles to showcase your client as a thought leader, opinion leader. Consistent press releases, consistent conversation with journalists over tea, coffee, not just rushed conversations because you have a news to share, but more peaceful, mindful conversations when there's nothing to share, so that you're building a relationship. So we try and ensure that our clients build relationships with journalists through us, which are relationships that they will take along for a very, very long time, and that will help them grow as well. So that's the way we function, and that is what has sort of helped us grow.
Okay. But I've also seen a lot of like new age founders, or in fact in even previous founders, they're starting to at least like come on these big podcast platforms, or through big influencers, they create a collab. So, and they can usually do that directly as well, right? Instead of going through a PR agency. So how does this work?
So there are two ways to it. When you have a PR agency, like I said, we control the narrative across all platforms. We control the messaging across all platforms. It's not that your internal teams can't do it. They of course can do it. The beauty of having an agency is that we share relationships with multiple people that we have built over the years across several clients. So that one influencer or that one podcaster or whatever guy who's doing the podcast, I would have maybe spoken to him for 20 clients, and I would have probably paid them 20 times over for different clients. So the relationship that I have with that podcaster and with that platform is a lot more than the internal comms guys doing it, So and plus it's built over years.
Right.
Same with the journalist. I've built a relationship with that journalist over 22 years, having spoken to him about 200 clients. Versus your internal comms guy, जो भले 5 जगहों पे काम करके आया होगा, this must be his 6th job, So the relationship may be great, may not be great, but it just helps that somebody is taking care of it, somebody is ensuring that there's consistent communication out there, and somebody is ensuring that, the conversation is streamlined, questions are shared, negotiations are done, and the whole back and forth of getting the job done and quality control till it's delivered is our job. Internal comms guys, internal marketing guys have internal stakeholders to take care of, internal communications to handle. There's so much that one poor comms guy does, And uske beech mein agar tum bologe ki ye bhi tumhara kaam hai, it's very difficult. So large companies have like say a good strong 2 to 3 member communications team, and they have a strong PR agency taking care of things. That's how they function. Likewise, maybe smaller companies who don't have a communications team, they have a large marketing team, and one of the marketing person's responsibility is also to take care of PR, and then they have a external PR agency that they work with. So right now, having a PR agency is not like an option that you do if you have money. It's a necessity, because then you're able to pull in so much of their bandwidth and their network into yours, which that 1, 2, 3 people cannot do. Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
how. Yeah.
Can you share a situation where after putting in a lot of efforts through PR, it still didn't work out for a client, and like, has there been any situation like that where you try your best game on still?
Hota hai kabhi where you've done everything, but despite that the client feel like a very recent example. We worked with this AI client. Great product, but he was sort of charging for his services for the credits that you buy. And while we got him to meet a lot of journalists and got him some great coverage, he wasn't getting conversions because the Indian market is not ready to pay that much money for AI when you have so many cheaper, freer platforms available.
True.
So despite our best efforts over say 6 months, he still wasn't getting numbers. And while numbers wasn't just the only criteria of working with us, it was also reaching out to potential investors and conversation in the VC circles and all of that. But numbers and sales was a big part of what he wanted. And he thought PR will drive it, and unfortunately PR didn't drive it. So then we mutually sort of parted ways, saying that, okay, what you want is not what is getting achieved via PR, and we paused work, and we continue to remain associates. And whenever there is a journalist who wants or needs something, we always sync them up. We're not like, okay, we're not working with that person, but the working relationship we have sort of snapped, and we've moved forward.
So it basically can't fix a weak business model. If I can.
Nothing can fix a weak business model. No amount of PR can fix a weak business model. No.
Okay.
No. Clarity is very, very crucial. Unless and until the client is not clear with where he wants to go, he may pivot. Clarity today may be different than clarity tomorrow. He may want to pivot, which is fair. But that clarity in knowing what the end goal is, it could be, and it's the same for big companies, small companies. Sometimes marketing team of large companies are also like all over the place, like running like headless chickens. They don't know what they're doing. So that clarity is very, very crucial for us to then come and maneuver things. Nahi to it's always like a, because whatever you do, they're like nahi ye nahi wo nahi ye, and then it becomes like one circus.
So you mentioned earlier that PR can be used for B2B, B2C as well. So is it necessarily effective more for B2B, B2C, or does it like mean something deeper beyond that?
So PR is impactful for all types of businesses, be it a consumer product, be it a service, be it a B2C, B2B, anything. So public relations is for everyone and also for individuals. Now, for example, say if I'm the MD or CEO of a company, what I do with my personal brand will also impact the company, So it is both ways. Hence, I feel PR is for everybody and anyone and everyone who wants to, like I said, communicate, grow, reach out to a larger audience, and wants to sort of reach that, like has certain vision and scale that the company or the brand wants to reach. Yeah.
And do founders make any PR mistake which they don't even realize? Would you like to point out such mistakes?
I mean, I wouldn't say mistakes. So I'll tell you, mistakes happen where when you say things that you're not meant to say, out of the whole excitement that okay, I'm meeting this journalist and I'm going to okay, say, but listen, this is off the record. So what hota hai na, you end up saying something and then you feel that, oh my god, you shouldn't have, and then there's no afterthought. A journalist may end up like sort of publishing it, and then it sort of gets a little awkward. So hence we always train our speakers to be, the media training is very, very crucial in terms of what to say, how much to say, how to say, the whole, like I said, that whole briefing document is very, very crucial. We have a proper process in place where we will show you who the journalist is, talk about the journalist, we will tell you what his or her background is like, his or her years of experience, what kind of questions he or she has been asking people, links to some of the past coverages. So we media train our leadership team who speak very, very well so that they do a fine job when they go out there. So I feel that mistakes happen when you're not prepared. Mistakes happen when you're not cognizant of the fact that what you're doing and your actions will have a larger impact. Then mistakes happen, but otherwise if you're like careful, it should be okay.
But are there any specific things which like even for a viewers to understand that every founder should keep in mind when through PR which is going, and they have to not really say it aloud?
See, I'll tell you what, for every, say in case of a startup, it's different for different brands, right? Like there's this one brand who doesn't want to say that their product is fried, for example, so they don't talk about fried as an option. They don't mention, they cover it up and the narrative is different. So like I said, once you have clarity on what are the 5 things that you want to say, you stick to that. Then don't go uske aage piche just for speaking, for the sake of talking. Yeah. So I think again it all comes again from clarity.
So I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Yeah.
Biggest misconceptions founders have about PR?
कि PR मेरा प्रोडक्ट बेचेगा, बिग सेल्स विल स्टार्ट कि अब मैंने PR स्टार्ट कर दिया, अब कल से माई वेबसाइट विल बी ऑन फायर, माई सोशल मीडिया विल बी ऑन फायर, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू बी लाइक सुपर सेलिंग. सो आई फील that especially in consumer brands, they feel कि बस magic, there's no magic wand. So that is like one big misconception that we first only tell them कि ये नहीं होगा, like that.
One sign a company is not ready for PR yet?
If they have no clarity, like if you need to have clarity on where you're going, you need to know what success means to me when I hire a PR agency. So if you don't have that and you're confused, you may start a relationship, but it's not something that will go a long way because you don't know what you're chasing. You don't know what you're headed to. You don't know where you're going. So then that relationships are not usually long.
And you mentioned before there are 4 types of media, like earned media, owned media, paid media,
and shared.
Shared media. So what matters in the long run?
A combination of all. your intellect, on how you use earned media coverage to promote on shared platforms through influencers or on owned platforms, and how you effectively use paid media when there is a requirement for that. So it's the combination of all four which makes your campaign a success in the long run, or your client or your brand a success in the long run. It's a mix of all of this that sort of is required. You can't just rely on one platform. You may not have the money right now to do paid or say work with influencers. You can own, but you can do earned media with the PR agency, and you can further promote it on your own platform. Utna tum kar sakte ho, So maybe start with one or two, but grow to doing everything in order to make it a success. Then that becomes like a
Ultimate thing.
Ultimate thing, yeah.
One PR trend founders should completely ignore.
One PR trend. I think a lot of founders now chase virality. कि how will it get viral? वो virality का कीड़ा has entered a lot of people. Now virality, there is no reason to why something gets viral. Sometimes really silly things get viral.
Yeah.
There is no one ever thought that I'm going to do this or ये होगा viral. That's not going to happen. So I feel that chasing virality, I think you should just chase, invest time in making a great product, and invest time in using the right medium, and then numbers will happen. Don't chase virality. Don't chase magic. There is no magic. Sometimes it may happen, but you can't chase that. Like
a PR mistake that silently damages credibility.
I think loose talks, just like blurting out things and saying कि अरे यार हाँ ये हुआ है, like, or talking about others कि ये वो करता है ये. I feel like journalists see through bullshit. So you need to really speak from a point of conviction and what you know and from your knowledge, and that is important. Like I said, journalists see through bullshit, and that is something that you need to really, really be very careful about. So no loose talk. Be very clear on what you're saying. Be very, very articulate in what you're speaking, and only give thorough knowledge, because it's very easy to sort of slip up and just keep blabbering.
One thing your company does differently from most agencies.
This client of ours put it very nicely, and it was a project-based client for a large luggage brand, and they worked with us on a project, and now they converted it to a retainer. They worked with us for a 3-month project. They said, let's see how it goes, and then we'll convert. So one thing he said that that it's not about the result. I mean, of course you guys delivered, but it was a fikr that you guys had, that somebody will call me every day कि आज ये हो रहा है, कल वो हो रहा है, आज का ये update है, वो update है. You guys will do weekly emails. If we are unavailable, we are busy, you guys will keep chasing. So that fikr jo hai, that is something that has really pulled us off through 12 years. It's not what we do, it's how we do. It's our people. It's the kind of culture that we've built through them, and the fact that we care for you, that is showcased in what we do, and clients love that about us, that there may not always be an uphill coverages. Sometimes there may not be coverages, but we are, the fact that we showcase that we are trying, here's who we are talking to, here's what was happening, here's where we are stuck, we need help. We don't shy away from asking for help. We don't shy away from asking that, okay, we're stuck here, what do we do next, what do you think, or this is not working, can we meet, can we brainstorm and work together on it and see how to make it work. Our team spend one day in a month in the client's office, spending the whole day, where you are meeting the CEO, you're meeting the CFO, you're meeting the HR guy, you're meeting the lowest guy, you're trying to understand ki chal kya raha hai, so to be able to build stories. So we do that. We encourage sitting in client's office and working. So we do all of that. We encourage monthly meetings, weekly huddles, catch-ups. Vikram and me are there for most monthly meetings, unless we're not available at all. But otherwise we are there for most clients. At least once in 2 months we definitely meet all our clients. So that fikr jo hamare paas hai, I think that is our edge, and that has sort of helped us scale and grow.
Wow. So, Diana, this almost brings us to the end of the podcast. Would you like to share something additional to our viewers which you have not covered so far, which probably may add value to them?
Like I said, in PR and in life in general, I think consistency is important. Not giving up is important, especially when, like in a business like ours, when you keep trying, try till you succeed is not something that was just built for kids. It is something it is the way of life. And I feel that one thing that I would want to leave your audiences with, that there is no shortcut to success. It is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of legwork. You've got to be out there. You've got to show up, and that hard work, consistency, backed by a little bit of luck, will sort of get you a long way.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dinah, for
Thank
taking
you.
the
This
time.
was so much fun. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode till the very end. If you found this episode to be valuable and insightful, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And let us know in the comment section below your takeaways from each of our episodes. Thank you.